Alrighty, welcome back, boys and girls. It's your main math man, Mr. Shank, coming to you live from Walker Grant Middle School. And our warm-up for today says this. It says the table of values below represents a linear relationship. And what that means specifically is that any point on our line is going to be a solution, meaning, moreover, that when we plot those points, if we plugged in a specific x and y value, it will form a line. That is how you get the word linear. So make sure that if you are plotting the points and it's not a straight line, you did mess up. So just make a mistake, correct it, move forward. So what is the slope and y-intercept for this line? As always, your slope is going to be equal to m in our slope-intercept form, and so that's going to be that change in y over the change in x. So let's figure out what is our change in x. So what is happening between these points? And so you only need 2 points to be able to graph a line, but well, let's take one step at a time. So if I'm going from -4 to 0, well, I'm increasing by 4. And so if I want to find the next point, well, does that work for the next point? Yeah, it does. So it's going to be +4 each time. So our change in x is going to be 4. Now our change in y, well, let's see. I'm starting at 6. I'm going down to 3. And so that's going to be -3 now. And I'm going from 3 to 0, which is still -3. So if I'm going to say my change in y is going to be -3, and my change in x is going to be +4. Again, it does not matter which sign is where, as long as you know that the ratio is still going to be negative. So that means that it's going to be -3/4. And all that's saying is, for every 4 steps to the right, you have to go down 3 steps. So that means that our slope, let's see if we can find it here. Our slope is going to be that 3/4. And so now, what about our y-intercept? Well, I'm kind of highlighting this point right here because it's that point where x equals 0, and it's where our line of our function hits the graph. And specifically, it hits the y-axis. So it's at that point B. So wherever x equals 0, that y value is our y-intercept. And so for this one, we see, hey, we have that point 0, 3, and so our y-intercept is going to be 3. So, secondly, you have each and every time you're trying to write the equation, just use this form, slope-intercept form. Again, we'll go more into this today, so make sure you're seeing if the slope is -3/4 and the y-intercept is +3, then our equation of the slope in slope-intercept form will be, again, you just replace those 2 letters. It will be y equals -3/4 times x plus 3. So this is our slope-intercept form, and that's our equation. And then lastly, it says to write the equation and graph it. So if I'm starting with this point, so this point right here is, let's go back to, this is that first order pair right here. So what I should be able to do is I should be able to go 4 steps to the right and then 3 steps down to get to my next point. So this is kind of building that staircase with that idea. So let's try it and see if this works. All right, so let me do again, our slope is -3/4, which means it's going to be right 4 steps. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. So right 4 steps, and then from there, let's go down 3. So let's go 1, 2, 3. So I should be at the point 0, 3, which I am, because that was our next point on the graph. And now from here, again, I went 4 steps to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then from that point I go 3 steps down, 1, 2, 3. So again, notice that pattern that we're making. Again, it's just 4 steps to the right, so it's plus 4, and then it's going to be 3 steps down. So it's minus 3. So please make sure you're seeing how we do this each time. And that gives us those ordered pairs, so that way we can graph the line. Again, our ordered pairs match up with the ones that were given, but also we can, make another step. So we should be able to go another step and another step to be able to find our next ordered pair. So again, the same pattern. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 steps to the right, and 1, 2, 3 steps down. So again, I have those values, and that will form our line of our graph. So again, make sure you make the staircase first, and then you can graph the line. Again, it should look exactly like this. And then finally, you can draw the line through the graph, so that way your points match up. Make sure you're double checking everything. Make sure you're understanding how we build that equation, and we are able to graph it. And as always, super slam that subscribe button.